I started working really early at, I don't know, 18 or 19 years old. I was a student at Polytechnic University, and it was 1991 or 1992. And I realized really fast after starting that university that I will not be an engineer. So it's not me. And I decided to try the philosophy faculty at university, and I dropped the polytechnical school, and I started to found jobs, and it was completely unqualified jobs at the beginning. I was a sales clerk in a mini shop. I was I don't know, not blue collar or what they are called, the guys who are unloading trucks of beer. I sold newspapers, I sold chocolate. I did a lot of things for several years until I discovered advertising and marketing. Actually, it was 1994, and I found a job at an advertising agency in the Polytechnic campus. And the founder of that company gave me guerrilla marketing by Levinson, if I'm not mistaken. And I read that book, and my mind just exploded. I mean, it was 1994. I was passionate about psychology, passionate about psychology mostly, and the fact that I realized I would be able to use my ability to understand people, and my passion actually to understand people, and make some good living, probably. For me, it was like, I don't know, a gift. So starting from there, I never done anything else than marketing. And I really soon, in 1996 actually, I started my own agency. I was 23 years old. I didn't know anything about entrepreneurship, about, I don't know, capital, hiring people, having a company in the very bureaucratic system that we had back then. I mean, it's much better now, even if I just signed today, I don't know, 50 documents for my company. Anyway, so I didn't know anything, but it was amazing to see that the market was so empty that almost anything you would have done would reach the clients. There are a lot of clients in the market wanting anything related to advertising, but actually in all the industries. I mean, you could have started then a real estate agency, or a shop, or I don't know, transport company. Anything would have clients really fast in a very unsafe economy back then. I mean, not paying an invoice was quite the norm back then. So it was really hard to choose the clients, choose the suppliers, even the people, to build a team who, of course, most of them, they didn't have experience in the field. And to teach them, to make them work together, and to start from one guy, me, doing, I don't know, orders of business cards and leaflets and small campaigns. And with an investment of $5,000, which was huge actually. I even borrowed some of the money. And I worked like crazy for 10 years until we reached first time 1 million euro turnover in 10 years later. And for me, those were the golden years because I learned a lot, especially to work with people. And I understood the importance of having capital, actually. Of course, back in 1996, 97, there weren't any investors, professional investors on the market. But I was lucky enough to have an angel investor who supported me at the beginning. And year by year, we grew really fast. I discovered online marketing. Actually, I discovered internet in 1998, I guess. And I was again really lucky because the first time I entered on Mirk, I connected with some American guy who was working in an advertising agency. And he just got home and he was really chatty at the moment. So we stayed for some hours chatting about the differences between American industry and Romanian industry on advertising. And what it shocked me, it was this fact that you can talk with some random people, some random guy across the world in instant messaging. And I had an accelerated learning curve after that. I discovered FTP. I discovered a lot of all the tools because I needed, let's say, to transport the files from our agency to printing houses. We quite fast we became one of the largest, and eventually I guess we were the biggest printing brokers in Romania. And of course we made a design and we choose the printing houses to deliver the products, and transporting the files from one place to another was very interesting tasks before having internet, before having external hard drives or anything else. We were splitting the files in several archives on those diskettes, those small disks, 1.44 megabytes each. And of course, that after you spend, I don't know, hours to make the archive, to transport it to the printing house, and to try to build again the original file, at the, I don't know, 15 diskettes, you get an error, and you have to go back, try again. So it was like crazy, but I had a very big incentive to use technology based on that. So to be honest, when I started my first company, I wanted to become market leader as fast as I can. And I was like, my main enemy was Saatchi and Saatchi. I wanted to close that agency because I considered them really incompetent. And I said, okay, I will take all the clients. And I tried to do that. I realized quite soon that it's actually impossible. I came too late in the traditional advertising game, so to speak. I remember when I saw the top, I don't know, 20 or 30 advertising agency in Romania, a report made by Capital, the newspaper, the magazine. And I had just in the previous year, in my first year, I had $50,000 turnover, and I was really proud of me. And I saw the top of advertising agencies, and of course there were millions of dollars for each one of them. So I said, okay, it's almost impossible to fight these guys. And after I discovered the internet, and I realized that actually all the other players, they didn't understand what was happening. And I said, okay, this is my field. I put optical fiber in all in our headquarters. I gave in 2000. I gave all my team access to unlimited access to internet, and now it sounds really weird, but back then, usually the employees didn't have access to internet. Maybe they got an email from half an hour to half an hour. They had a modem to connect to the internet and get the email, but that was it. And having access, me and all my team, as I said, unlimited access to internet, helped us to learn really well and to innovate. And I made some really cool projects back then, and we won 2 Internetics prizes at a competition, really important competition back then. And in 2003 and in 2005, I discovered Google AdWords in 2004, and it was like, again, something that I couldn't wrap my mind around it. So it was like, okay, so we pay only for the people who are searching something, and only if they click on it? Are you crazy? We have to sell this. I mean, a colleague, actually my first employee, who already became back then a partner, he discovered that and called me, Dorin, let me show you something. Look. And I was, okay, let's sell this. I don't know how, but I used to have a very good relationship with my clients back then, especially with entrepreneurs. I always worked well with entrepreneurs, not so well with the corporations. And that is because I need a lot of freedom. And with entrepreneurs, I was able to change maybe the strategy or the creation without telling them sometimes. And about AdWords, for example, I one of the first campaigns, or maybe the actual first campaign, was for Volkswagen dealer for Midocar, which I started without telling them. And I called the owner, said, please open Google and search for Volkswagen. And he saw his ad there. And he said, oh my God, Dorin, it's amazing. How did you do that? Well, my magic. And it was, the cost back then was, I don't know, less than a cent per click. It was like, I paid the first campaigns because it was so cheap. But on the other hand, that represented a big problem, because usually the media budgets managed by the agency were big enough for them to put the price as a percentage from the budget. So it was 2%, 3%, 5%, I don't know, from the media budget. But when you spend, I don't know, $100 per month tops, you cannot charge 2, 3, even 10% of that. So I invented the business model for digital agencies, for performance agencies, consisting in a setup fee, a minimum fee per month. Yes, a percentage, but actually it's, I don't know, 500 euro per month at least. And we grew quite fast. I mean, So we started the first campaigns, AdWords campaigns, in 2004, and several years later, we were like probably the biggest agency in digital. I extracted this activity. I made a spin-off, and the whole online business, I moved to a performance agency, Hyperactive, which I launched with another partner in 2008. And it was, again, like crazy. The performance agencies were launching one by week, and all had clients. I mean, nobody in the market know how to do that, how to manage advertising in online. So we got really big clients: Orange, Renault, ING. We got a lot of clients. We grew, but we were still struggling being an independent agency in the middle of the economic crisis, 2008, 2009. So at the end of the 2009, we sold the agency to Initiative and Lowy. My partner remained there as managing partner, but I made an exit, an integral exit 100%. And days after that, I decided to take over Tuparale, the first affiliate network in Romania. So, but it's the first company that I haven't started myself. And it's the first brand that I had, and it wasn't made or chosen by me. But it's funny because at the end of 2008, the founder of Tuparale won startup contest at NetCamp 2008, and I was there in the room, and I thought it's a stupid idea, and I went out to smoke a cigarette with a friend and to have a coffee. The way Radu positioned the company, a tool to help the bloggers to make money. Okay, I saw a lot of tools for bloggers. I get out. Lucky for a lot of people, including me, someone else in the room saw the potential. Vlad Stan from SeedMoney financed the company, the start actually of the company. And several months later, I met with Radu, with the founder. And I understood actually that it's a quite cool idea. I helped him to get clients, get partners. I was really well connected in the online business back then. I mean, and now, for quite, I don't know, half a year or more, I helped him to develop his business, and he helped me with the servers because I had some publishing projects. But we were just friends. Maybe I can say that I was kind of a mentor for him. And at the end of the year, he told me that, okay, the business now is good, is validated. We started to grow, and we started to have like real problems to account sales, paying all the affiliates in time. And he said, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. I decided to put someone else in charge. And he told me who that person was, and I said, okay, I got it, but I won't recommend Tuparale anymore to anyone. Why? Because I know that guy, and this is not like really serious and committed, and I don't have the confidence that he will provide quality for the partners. And I'll say, oh, sorry, I didn't know that. Can you recommend me someone else? And I don't know, but it's complicated to hire someone. He wanted to go to United States. and to leave a manager in Romania. I said, man, this won't work, really. Maybe you should sell the company. Yeah, do you believe I can? He said, yeah, definitely, of course you can. And I'm sure you will get, I don't know, 50,000 euro for it. I mean, just like that. I said, okay, whom should I sell to? And I started to put some names on the table. And he rather rejected one after another. No, I don't like that guy. Maybe the other guy I don't believe has the ability and the experience. And I'm shit you not, this is a true story. And after, I don't know, 15 minutes, I said, okay, maybe I can buy it. And he said, would you? I believe I do. Yeah, I would. But it's a new idea. Let me sleep over it. But because I was just in the moment to sell Hyperactive, the agency, and I didn't know exactly what I will do with my next year. And after leaving that meeting, I called an angel investor because I already started another company with him, Daniel Enache. And I told him on the phone, do you want us to buy two Parale? And he said, how much? 50,000. Okay. And that was mostly it. Of course, we made due diligence but it was really a fast track deal. Since the moment we agreed on the initial terms, it was, I don't know, a month maybe until we signed everything off and took the company. And coming back to your question, why did I do that? I felt from the beginning that this is the future of marketing. Because this is something that use everything that internet offers, accountability, the fact that you can measure anything, and you can put a business model upon advertising and marketing, which is fair, because you pay only for the sales you get. There's a saying that half of the money you spend on advertising is wasted. The problem is you don't know which half. And in our business, actually, you don't waste any money. And to be honest, I thought that it's a good opportunity. Back then I was in a mindset of serial entrepreneur. I was just selling a business. I had other 2 or 3 business running, a digital printing house, an agency, a BTL agency, and I had some managers there. So I said, okay, I will buy this company. I will, I don't know, take it to 1 million and I will sell it after that. A little faster than it happened actually at the beginning, but I thought the best chances are to have to build a local player and to sell it after 2 or 3 years to an international player, because I knew that e-commerce was going to grow a lot. Digital marketing, I didn't have any doubts that it will become the norm. So, but I didn't know actually, or I didn't expect that there are so many layers in this business. And it's one of the things that I love about this, because it's like an onion. You know, like in Shrek. It seems a little complicated at the beginning, and after, I don't know, a short time, say, oh, I got it. So you guys you have an ad server at cost per sale. Pretty nice. But that looks really simple, and you try, and I entered into this business with the mindset that I will use everything I know, my previous experience, I will put in this business, and I will teach the users and the clients how to do things. Because in my mind back then, I have to say that I was the best marketing guy in Romania, probably even in the world. But I mean, I was really confident in me and my ability to do marketing and to grow a startup and a company. And it was really hard to find that actually when you switch from the awareness model to performance model, almost everything I knew was worthless. And it was quite complicated because my first son was just born. I was just in the position of having a new company with an investment, with a lot of expectations, based on the fact that I can use everything I know and I can put it to good use in the company. And I realized that actually is not that. So if the users were doing, actually some of them, what I was telling them, the results weren't so good. And sometimes exactly the opposite worked. And a lot of partnerships and a lot of affiliates or e-shops who, for me, they weren't the probable champions, let's say. But they, in the real life, they were the ones who, the best performers. And it was really hard for me to take a step back and to rethink my role in the business and in the ecosystem. So I said, okay, so we are not here to generate performance, actually. This is their job. Us, we have to create the infrastructure, the rules, and to govern an ecosystem rather than do things to be active in their activities. So starting from there, I became more and more in love or passionate about this business, because I saw how many people can become the best version of themselves in our ecosystem. And this is because in traditional marketing industry or advertising, usually the decisions are made based on social skills of the seller, or on the ability to I don't know, create a nice presentation, or based on your CV, your relationship, your, I don't know, availability to pay something back in order to get a client. And I'm not saying that in the traditional industry they are not good professionals. There are a lot of people there. But here, in affiliate, all those skills don't matter at all. All that matters is the ability to send targeted traffic, generate sales, invest your time, money wisely in order to make a profit. So it's a system that is bringing up the true champions or the marketers of tomorrow. And all of them are rather entrepreneurs, not, I don't know, an employee in an advertising agency, let's say. And as I said earlier, I love entrepreneurs, and I really connect very well with them. And we started from the beginning with full transparency, which was and still is, but big issue in this field, in this industry, because we showed, I don't know, several months after I took the company, we started to show the exact number of clicks, sales, clients. We had everything available on the website, and this helped a lot of people to understand the opportunity. So we started with, I don't know, 8,000 sales per month. Right now we have 200,000 sales per month in February, let's say. We had to fight a lot other players in the market, and to beat the old paradigm that was and kind of still is in a lot of companies and industries. But to be honest, I usually like to try new things. And one of the things that I loved and still love at To Performant is the fact that I have total freedom. I can do anything. Before that, I worked in services. I have an advertising agency. So any idea that I had to propose to the client, and in 90% of the cases, it was rejected. And I found myself in a completely new situation when all my ideas were chosen by me. So which one to implement, it wasn't. I did. And it's really interesting to think about how the relationship is working in advertising, where when you work with a client, you actually have one person that you have to convince, I don't know, the marketing manager from the company. And their objective is not necessarily aligned with the company's objective. Sometimes are not. And all the advertising people develop good skills in order to convince marketing people from the company to work with them, but not necessarily to deliver results after that. In what we do, it's only about results. So I started to test a lot of ideas, and I saw that the feedback loop is almost instant. I mean, if we do something right, the sales are increasing. If we do something bad, sales are decreasing. So it's not about convincing someone that it's a good idea. Now you try and you see if it's working. If it's working, okay, repeat, iterate, improve. If it's not working, okay, stop, try something else. And this is something that is based on of course, the technology that we have, the business model, and the fact that we chose to work mainly in e-commerce industry. And I don't believe there's, for now, any other industries where this model could work so well. Because here is really straightforward. I mean, someone make I don't know, a campaign or an ad or a review. He sends some visitors, and they buy the product or not. It's that easy. And I'm comparing what we do with the competition or a sport, and the guys who are working in advertising agencies, from my point of view, they are amateur marketers. They are, because they get a salary, the same salary even if they deliver really good results or sometimes worse results. While affiliates, they are like professional marketers because they don't get money if they don't generate enough sales. And you can literally work and, I don't know, weeks and invest a lot of money and to not get any reward. But on the other hand, if you are really good, you can have your life completely changed. I mean, we have users right now who are generating €500,000 per year and more. We have people with more than 1.2 million in Europe per year. And this is something that is impossible in the traditional industry. So I love the people involved in this business. I love the fact that we are growing an ecosystem where a meritocracy, actually, like a digital society where brands cooperate with marketers with the right mindset, the right approach, the right business model, and they can do this like literally with few clicks in a platform. And this is something that it wouldn't have been possible in any other industry, and definitely not in the offline world. So what we do, I believe it's maximizing the use of almost all the technologies available right now, and using a very smart business model help both categories, e-commerce entrepreneurs and marketing entrepreneurs, to grow as much as they are able to. There are actually no limits. It's not like you have a budget cap from the client. I mean, if you get a percentage of the sales, you can sell how much you can. I mean, it's really nice. But yeah, now I remember the hard part. The hard parts. Being a first mover is really nice from many points of view, and I actually did that in a lot of other projects, but it has a really bad side or dark side, because usually when you are a first mover, nobody understands what you're doing. There is a big lack of confidence because it is not proven, and it seems that usually people, they need some confirmation from someone else. I mean, for me, if we have an idea that nobody else does it, for me, that's a reason to do it. But for most of the people, especially the guys in corporations, that is a reason not to do it. So it was really hard to find a big brand in each industry and to convince them to try, in order to convince all the others to try this new shiny and magic thing. But so changing the mentality, or waiting for the mentality to dissipate in the whole ecosystem, is quite hard, and sometimes I believe it's really important to be on the right moment in the market. And I believe we were a little too early, but not so early that it wouldn't work, but a little too early, and that brought us a lot of I don't know, challenges and effort to finance, because yes, the growth was really nice, but the actual money initially was really small. We were growing a company in a very competitive field, but initially we didn't have enough money to do that. So I had, at a certain point, I had to decide that I want to stay with this business a long time before convincing someone to invest a significant amount of money. And I said, okay, I'm up to this challenge. I believe I can, as I said, build a local player, an interesting local player. And I started to find investors, to understand everything related to raising capital. And it was 2011, 2012. And yes, were the early days of the entire ecosystem. Nobody knew what they were doing. I mean, not the angel investors, not the, I don't know, events organizer. The VC funds were almost inexistent. And it was really hard to choose who to believe, because everybody involved in ecosystem had very strong opinions, of course. And I'm speaking about really, I don't know, simple task. How should you make a pitch? What should you put in a one-pager? What kind of investors to approach and where? And it was a lot of bad advice back then. Not on purpose, but it was still bad. And I put a lot of effort into bad tries to find money. But I learned a lot. And after, I don't know, 6 months or so, I found out about the Venture Connect event. And I believe that the entire ecosystem in Romania owes a lot to that event, to Biriș Goran and Ana Maria Andronic and Dan Vișoiu, who were the founders of this and organized, I don't know, several editions. And they put together the tech entrepreneurs with the investors, with the general audience, with the journalists, and with some really needed suppliers like lawyers, accountants, and everything else, because nobody knew how to deal with new species of companies, tech companies. What are your assets? Well, technology. Well, can you put it, I don't know, can you guarantee a loan at the bank with that? No, you cannot do that. So you don't have an asset. Yes, I do. Because look, I have 200 clients with 3 people. And it was really like I don't know, sparkling environment for several years. And it was really hard at the beginning, really hard to put myself and my business on a stage and to share the plans and the strategy and the vision with everybody, because I was still thinking that maybe somebody else will steal my idea and will do something with that. And besides that, of course, it was hard for me to go on a stage and to talk in front of a crowd, and to do that in a very, I don't know, convincing way, because I was looking for a lot of money and I was trying to convince some people to invest in my company. I watched recently my pitch from 2012, and I was surprised how similar is the vision from then to what we do now, and to the current vision. Of course, the vision grew, and we have a lot of nuances, but the bare bones are the same. We are really consistent, and it's nice that what we did and what we do, we are doing, still doing, attracts more and more people, and brings value to the entire economy. Because when a sale is made, you bring real value, because the e-shop has work to do, the courier has work to do, of course the digital marketers get money, and the producer of those products get some money. And it's not like, I don't know, something in the digital world. Yes, it is in digital world, but the consequences are in the real world. So right now, the way we see to performance and the way we build to performance is an e-commerce game with impact in the real world. So it's like a business simulator, but it's not a simulation. Actually, it's happening in real life. But it was really hard to convince, especially investors, to put money and to put money in this and to understand the opportunity. And I was really lucky to have another angel investor, Sergiu Neguț, after my pitch in 2012, which I was really proud of. I got a lot of praise, but nobody came to me to invest, except Sergiu, who approached me at that event and said, look, I love what you're doing, and I loved your presentation. I don't have the money that you said you want, but I'm interested to work together. And he gave me a business card, and that was a really nice thing that happened to me. Looking back, I don't know what would have happened to my company without that, because several months after that, Sergiu invested into performance, and also led a round of angel investors, almost €500,000 investment. And that was like a breath of fresh air for us, and it helped us to finally develop like a real company. But it was really hard back then to understand what is the right way to build a tech company. For instance, Vladimir Oane, who is one of the founders of To Performance, and I believe in 2010 or 11 he went to London to start a company there, a social analytics company, Overview. And when I heard that he did that, I said, dude, you're stupid, you're never gonna make it there. Why would you go in London? It's more expensive, you don't know anybody there. Here in Romania is good. And actually he was right. He made it. And speaking with him, I understood that all the problems that Romanian ecosystem brings, like really complicated and old IP legislation, the financing world was really small and immature. Right now it's just small. It's a little bigger, but it's still small, but more mature. It's very complicated to find product people here in Romania. We have very good tech talent, but on the coding side, let's say, and it's really different to build a product and to market it and make money with it. Most of the companies, or most of the tech companies in Romania are actually doing outsourcing projects. And I understand why a lot of people are involved in this. There is good money there. But the added value doesn't remain here in Romania, and when it goes outside, and the very few companies that are trying to do their own product like us, they really struggle to find good people, because we are competing with the giants actually in technology. Good programmers, good product people, good sales people, and to finance this, especially in the first years of a company. Most of the angel investors, I remember back then at the beginning, were expecting crazy returns from the first year. Why won't you have profit in the first year? Well, because I want to invest everything I produce in order to grow more, because the opportunity that we are seeing in the next, 10 to 20 years are huge. So I don't want to have profit right now, a small profit. I want to have a huge profit, but later. And many of the initial investors in our market had zero experience in tech. Most of them were from, real estate or agriculture. Well, nice people, smart people, of course, but they didn't know how to do that. And I'm glad that a lot of initiatives in the last years started to aggregate some competent people in the same place, like Tech Angels organization, or SeedBlink, which is, it's amazing to have this kind of opportunities right now, to interact with professional investors, to have to find really easy your peers, and to talk to other entrepreneurs about, the challenges, because most of the time are similar. But back then we didn't have that. And I guess the most important skill back then was resilience, actually. Of course, you had to be creative to be a good leader, to run a company, but you had to be resilient and to have patience, and to believe that at one point in the future it will worth it, and the company will start growing as you hope or just expect. For me, it was funny to understand that actually the entrepreneurs are quite similar in all the industries. I took some courses on Coursera, for example, how to grow a company, and the examples were from the offline world, but it was really similar. The examples were really similar with my situations. Even they were talking about a nursing home or a TV cable company, but there are a lot of lessons and a lot of situations really similar to what I experienced. And for any entrepreneur, there are countless situations when you would rather quit. Man, it's too complicated. I cannot, I don't know. It's a conflict in the company, or I don't have money, or some people from my team are leaving, or the platform is down and we don't know how to solve that, or we cannot attract more money, and so on and so on. But I believe it's important to feel how much the company is representing you. How much do you still have to put on the table? And it's like a statue or a painting or something. I truly believe that to perform right now is like a painting or like a statue, and it's not quite finished yet. I still have a lot of work to do, some important details that I have to solve, and you cannot do that without resilience. I remember when I read some good books from 0 to 1 from Peter Thiel, or I don't know the name of a book written by Horowitz, and the story of Google, of Facebook, of Amazon, of Twitter, anything. And it was kind of weird to see that they have the same problems, of course, at a different level. But they have the same problems with the investors, the same problem with the financing the company, keeping the team motivated, solving the technological problems, and so on. And that helped me because before reading all of those books, I thought that, I don't know, they have more elevated problems. But no, actually the problems are really the same. But there are less money involved here, which is sometimes good, but most of the times is bad. But that actually helped us having a very small market, having very few money from the investors and the clients, but having a really big drive to succeed and to make this work. I had to find and to invent some things that nobody else did it, like gamifying the cooperations between marketers and e-shops, because I didn't want to have client service. I didn't want to have accounts. I mean, I quit the advertising industry several months before that, so I don't want client service anymore. I used to say, let's use the technology, let's make the platform self-service. And it was really hard to find the right motivators for all the users. And I came up with this, with the gamifying the experience and to organize contests between them. And I remember going to an event of affiliate management in London. I was a speaker there, and I was sure that everybody else was doing it. And I asked the room, how many of you are organizing contests between affiliates? And nobody raised their hand. I have to say that initially I thought maybe my English is not good. Let me try to rephrase it, maybe because it cannot be. And no, actually I was the only one who saw that, and that was the moment when I realized that maybe To Performant have the potential to be an international player, not only a local player, because the industry wasn't so mature that I expected, and I kind of realized that it was a good industry to disrupt, you feel like. There were some big players, but like dinosaurs, but big enough to move slow. And then I made the decision that I will stay in this business for a long time. And 13 years later, I am still here, still fighting. And I have plans for a lot of time from now. As I said, the painting is not finished, but it will be a masterpiece in the end. In 2017, the Bucharest Stock Exchange organized a contest for smaller companies made in Romania, and Sergiu recommended me to participate, and we did. We were among the first 15 finalists of that project. It was a really cool project because all those 15 companies attended a lot of workshops, interacted with the whole ecosystem around the capital market here. And I thought like we are a marketplace for marketers, and we believe a lot in democracy and liberalization and the sharing economy. And it seems that democratizing the finance and the investment, it's the right thing to do for us. And we decided to do that. We started to work on bureaucracy and a lot of other things. And I don't know, in 2020, we listed the company. We were the first tech company in the real sense of word, having a product and developing our own technology on the local exchange. We raised more than 1 million euro in 2021. We have right now more than 1,200 shareholders, which is amazing. And I'm really grateful and I don't know, I feel responsible for that. I mean, more than 1,000 people felt that we deserve a smaller or bigger portion of their future somehow. And I realized that this means a lot more than buying a product. When you invest in a company, you put your emotions, your hopes, and your money into that company. So it's significantly different than what we were told, actually, being a public company here on this market. And that is an interesting learning. I'm saying this because the market is still really small. The capital market in Romania is really small. We have a lot of visibility, and we get a lot of extra trust from our clients and from our partners, and it's really good to be public. But sometimes the effort to maintain that versus what we get doesn't feel, I don't know, fair. But it's just a beginning. We have only 2 years and something. And as I said, we already raised an important amount of money, and we plan to raise some more quite soon, at the end of the year, maybe in the beginning of next year. And as I said that I'm good with entrepreneurs and not so much with the corporations, I have to say that I'm better with retail investors, not with the VC funds. So yeah, the stock exchange is definitely a much better place for us. In a very optimistic scenario, yes, after we would grow a lot and have some important share of our turnover in another market. But otherwise, no, it's too early. I consider really like a really good option to move to the principal market here in the local exchange, because right now we are on AeRo, which is the unregulated market. And I believe this would be the first step, probably in 2025. And after that, we will see. So for now, anyway, it's amazing what the Bucharest Stock Exchange, the progress they have made in the last, I don't know, 5 years or so. And they finally got to the point where they can help local companies to get money, to be public. They made a lot of steps to make the process a little, I don't know, easier for them. I'm quite sure that to perform a launch in any other market, any other bigger market, would have a much bigger success. If we would have started in United States, we would probably worth, I don't know, hundreds of millions right now, or maybe even more. And I don't believe that we lost that potential. Actually, going to United States is one of the most important plans for next year. But it is important, yes, when you start, with what people, with what money, and in what ecosystem. And I believe there were a lot of good ideas and good projects that died here in the local market, and other projects were, I don't know, lucky enough, or the entrepreneurs was smart enough or brave enough to go to other markets. Vladimir is one of them. Radu Spineanu, the founder of To Performant, after we did the deal, he went to United States, and after several attempts and sleeping on the couch of the friends, I don't know, for months and maybe years, he managed to launch a successful company, and he sold it, I don't know, 2 years ago. He was one of the, or maybe the first Romanian who got accepted in Y Combinator, which was huge back then. I mean, it was like Stanford, it was like Sorbona of the entrepreneurship. I'm honored that I know him, and I know the other guy also. So I'm lucky to be so well connected to them. And but yes, if I could change something in the past, probably the country where To Performant started would get us an advantage. But as I said, starting here forced us to develop a certain way of doing things, a certain technology, and I'm not sure that in a bigger market I would have come with the gamification idea, because I would probably didn't need to do that. So I try to, and always I'm trying to do that, to turn disadvantages in advantage. I mean, it's like, okay, can I do something with it? Because if I can't, maybe I should stop somewhere. But for now, yeah, I'm quite happy where we are. We moved to Ireland, me and my family, my wife and two kids, moved to Ireland almost 2 years ago after we decided that the company, that the two-performance team will stay remote forever, or remote first. And we said, okay, if we can work from Bucharest or Pitești, or we can work from anywhere. We did that for us, for the kids, and we tried to be digital nomads, let's say. But I realized that after I left that actually maybe I don't want so much to move around the world, but I did want to move from Romania. So once I got out of Romania and I went to Ireland, where people are really nice and everything is working as it's supposed to, it's good enough. Why should we go anywhere else if it's okay here? So yeah, and we have right now a lot of people. I mean, we are 50 people working from Germany, a lot of towns in Romania, Moldova, Spain, I'm in Ireland. Some other guys went to, I don't know, to holiday, and they work from Turkey or from Tenerife. And it's amazing actually the freedom that you get when you work remote. So we are in a very good place, and I'm really grateful for all the investors and the local ecosystem. I mean, I'm grateful to the team. I'm grateful what happened to me, but I consider myself really lucky that I got here. The chances, the odds were against me and all the other entrepreneurs. I mean, and the very few of us who made it from the beginning, we should count ourselves lucky. I mean, yeah, we are good. We work a lot. We are smart. We had good ideas, but it would have been so easy for our companies to be closed, like a lot of others. So yeah. Yes, a lot, several times, not several, but a lot of times. And I remember one moment when I was in our office. I had an entire floor at one office building, Grave Business Center. And it was late at night. I was at the office. Nobody else was there. And I was really in a dark place. I didn't have money to pay the salaries. I had some problem. I had a lot of problems. It was really hard. And I was complaining to myself, but I saw the logo on the wall of To Performant, and it was quite a big logo because I used to have a big office. And I thought, well, Dorin, you are living your dream, you know. Yes, you have a tech company, quite big. Right now you are market leader. Well, of course it's hard. What would you expect? I mean, come on. And it's part of the journey. What is hard to do is to separate the emotions from the professional life with the personal ones. And I'm not very good at that. I bring a lot of the work home, let's say. But I had a similar thought last year, right now in a new context. Back then in a new context. I was living in Ireland with a public company, with two kids, with a wife who loves me, with a good house, and I was living my dream, but it was extremely hard. Sometimes it feels like an impossible task to solve all the problems. But I have enough experience to not panic, let's say. Take a step back, think about only the next step. Of course, I am aware that there are no perfect answers, and it's important. The journey is more important than the destination, and I always look, okay, what can I learn from this situation, from this failure, or from this I don't know, mistake. And I actually believe that you only learn something new from failures or mistakes, because when you have success, it usually means that you are right about something, and it's nice. You need that quite as often as you can, but you become a better person learning from failures. So I try to keep a healthy balance between success and failure in order to enjoy the journey, but to learn from it as much as I can. The biggest obstacle which I saw back then, and it was my most important fear, was that I cannot find enough money and the right people to grow the company. I knew that the vision was right, but this is a challenge. I mean, I could have written a book about how to build the perfect ecosystem for marketing, or I could try to build it. And when you decide to build something, you need people, you need money, and those were the biggest fears, that I might end up, I don't know, closing the company for one of these reasons. And I had in 2016, I had, I don't know, 5 or 6 months when me and the management team, we didn't take our salaries. At one point, we had only 10,000 euro in the bank, but it wasn't actually ours. It was from the bank, from a loan of 200,000 euro, which we already spent it. So what we had, it was minus 190,000 euro. And that, I believe, it was the lowest point in To-Performant life so far. After listing the company and after becoming, I don't know, we are a mature company right now. We are market leader. We had, I don't know, 7 million euro turnover last year. Right now, my fear is that we don't achieve the right potential that we can. But worst case scenario is like, I don't know, us growing only 20% per year from now, 10 years from now. So we are quite okay. We were working already at the new platform, the To-Performant platform, and but we had to postpone the launch in order to add some features. We realized after we made the planning and the roadmap, and we already got some money from the investors, that almost 500,000 led by Sergiu Neguț. And we had to put, I don't know, 4 to 6 more months into the development, and I couldn't find investors for that. And most of our investors back then, they didn't back me up. and it was like, Dorin, you have to, I don't know, you didn't say you need more money. You said that you would launch to perform faster. I don't know, man, do your stuff. And yeah, it was hard. That moment, you know, when with the big logo on the wall. Yeah, but I decided that yeah, I can solve this. It's a good opportunity to grow and to find creative solutions. And yeah, I convinced the management team to not take. I mean, we borrowed. We eventually take our money back, but. And Sergio and Vladimir, they actually borrowed us with some money, and it was like, yeah, make it or break it, and yeah, we made it. What happened in the last couple of years? I mean, we saw some really interesting exits, like I don't know what was the platform launched by Mihai Rotaru. It was a clever taxi, right? Which they sold to Daimler-Benz, and that was amazing. We saw some big investment rounds in projects started by Romania. Not necessarily all of them were in Romania, but we suddenly saw more and more competence, good projects, and I believe they helped the entire ecosystem. They did help me to gain trust and to see some best practices, what to do in order to achieve that point. And there is no comparison between how it is right now, the ecosystem, and how it was 12 or 13 or I don't know, 15 years ago. Of course, there are many people who contributed along the way. I want to thank Vlad Stan for everything he did, including financing to performance from the beginning when I left the room. And I believe it was a very romantic period at the beginning. It was like more about the philosophy, not necessarily about the business. And money drives competence sooner or later. And when the projects attracted money or the investors got more professional and started to put bigger budgets in Romania, that accelerated the, I don't know, the professionalization of the industry, if that's a term. And because this is not only about the entrepreneurs and the funds or the investors. You need to have good lawyers specialized in IP, and there are many, not to this day, but 10 years ago, there are very few with real experience in tech company. As I said, you don't have many product managers. I have the greatest vision in the world. I can say that. But without a team and without good products, it's really nothing. And it doesn't worth too much if you don't have salespeople, if you don't have accountants to understand how to deal with everything that is involved in a tech company. And I believe this is what changed a lot in the last 5 years. The infrastructure right now is really helping the entrepreneurs to focus on what they do best. You want to raise money, you can go to SeedBlink, you can go to Stock Exchange, you can go to Tech Angels. There are a lot of people and places and institutions that you can talk to and work with. We have a lot of examples. Of course, UiPath is like the unicorn who proved everyone that it's possible actually. So stop complaining that the Romania is a small market, like I did in the last 2 hours, and do something with your life. Okay, boss. So it's not about the environment. It's about me. Okay, lesson learned. I try to do a little better what I do, and all those projects, especially the ones who made an exit, brought capital and talent in the market. There are a lot of investors right now from the UiPath team, a lot of entrepreneurs from there, and of course people like Mihai Rotaru or Mircea Căpățână, who built SmartBill and made a really nice exit. And right now he's still at SmartBill, but he invests and help the ecosystem to grow. This is it's a much healthier ecosystem right now, and the liquidity of the transactions and the frequency of the project and interactions, I believe it's closer or close to the right pace. So maybe what happened in the last years was that the ecosystem grew to a point where it takes the ugly part from the entrepreneurs. You don't have to solve non-core problems. For anything else than your product and your market and your team, you have resources, you have competencies, and more money than we used to. There is still a gap, a big gap between the opportunities of the built by entrepreneurs here and the capital available. But it's decreasing, and we are going in the right direction. I hope that all the projects, all the successful projects, will manage to grow more and to access more and more capital when they need. Because I believe the investors need some success story with safer success story, let's say, in order to gain some courage to invest in more riskier ones. Right now, to be honest, I think that we have, as I said, almost everything we need in the infrastructure, in the ecosystem. So I believe more projects will start at a global level or European level. I think the most important thing missing so far is the courage. Romanians are usually, I don't know, not so confident about themselves, and the new generation of entrepreneurs, I already saw that they don't have this problem. They are eager to try to go in any other market than Romania, which is nice. And what I really hope it will happen, a significant move of tech talent from the outsourcing company to startups and product company here, because without this it's almost impossible to grow more. It doesn't have any sense. I mean, I know some entrepreneurs who hired Indians or Colombians, but it kind of defeats the purpose. We have a lot of good developers here, very good engineers. All the big players are, I mean, you can find a lot of Romanians in Google, Facebook, Twitter, anywhere in the world. We should give them, I don't know, projects big enough and challenges big enough in order to motivate them to get involved in this. And hopefully, at least for Central and Eastern Europe, we could become a hub for the entire tech startups ecosystem.